It is easier to fool people than it is to convince them that they have been fooled. You might want to hide your kids and wives real quick. If you're somebody's wife accidentally watching this video, hide your hubbies. You don't have to like the video, you don't have to subscribe. Let's get right to it, gang, because tonight's the night. We got crazy conspiracies, and first of all, let's start off with the DMT and parallel universe. Roll it.
We had dinner together in London, and you were speaking about research that's being done on dimethyltryptamine.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that?
Well, that's happening at Imperial College, and I recently attended an event just a few weeks ago with several of the volunteers in that project. And what's happening is they are legally being given DMT at Imperial College, which is one of the leading research institutes in the UK. And for the first time ever, they're not looking to find out what are the possible therapeutic outcomes of this. They're actually looking at the experience itself. It's very well known, anybody who's used DMT.
One in the comments if you actually have used it. Two if you never. I personally never have used it. I also heard that it used to be legal, but then they made it illegal. For the purposes, I guess we're gonna get into in a bit, but...
I've used DMT multiple times. It's going to have entity encounters. They're going to meet entities who may sometimes look very weird. They may be part animal, part human in form. They may be almost formless, but yet they speak to you, they communicate with you. And of course, the mainstream attitude, this is just rubbish, this is just your brain on drugs. Well,
yeah.
Imperial College, they're now...
Yeah, basically there are two things happening here, or could be happening. Either it's your brain playing that clip, or basically it's your brain processing whatever it's processing and you're able to see it. Maybe it's all in your head. Or maybe you're actually traveling to another dimension and you're actually meeting and seeing that. These are the only two possibilities that majority of the people that have used it talk about. And it is quite insane, man. If you have an experience, yeah, put it in the comments. I would love to know your thoughts.
Testing that view. And what they're finding is that these and something else. DMT, as I'm sure you know, Joe, is a very short-acting experience when you smoke it. It's about 12 minutes, maybe less. You're in there, you're plunged into a completely convincing, sometimes terrifying, parallel reality. It's so confusing, you hardly know what's going on, and then you're out again. But you come out with a feeling that something's been downloaded to you. In Imperial College, they found a way to keep people in the peak state of DMT for an hour. They're delivering it through drip, through timed release, and they're keeping the volunteers in an hour in that state. So they have time to find their way around the DMT realm that they find themselves in. And the astonishing thing is that these volunteers, both men and women, are all coming back with accounts of meeting the same entities and the same world.
I heard, yeah, I was meaning to actually bring this up as well. It's good that now we're on topic. I heard this case study. There were a couple of people. This is something that I heard so long ago that, yeah, my memory is gonna be foggier than Snoop Dogg's bathroom on this one. But yeah, no. So this is the gist of it, right? There were a couple of people that were taking DMT. They were put together in a room. Different people, okay, done DMT, and when they came back, they all described the same experience. Oh shit! Oh shit. Same experience. And that, if true, I don't think they were lying. If true, holy shit. So they experienced the same entities, different people, by the way. Same entities. So that cannot be your brain playing that. That cannot be your brain. If we go off of that case. Now, surely could be false, but that's the gist of it. That is insane, man. I hope that is true. I really hope that's true, because it's fascinating.
Are all coming back and themselves in. And the astonishing thing is that these volunteers, both men and women, are all coming back with accounts of meeting the same entities and the same world. And it has to raise the question, and I know Rick Strassman has been on your show, and kudos to Rick Strassman, because he was really the first scientist to work with DMT and human volunteers at the University of New Mexico. Rick Strassman is open to the idea that what happens with DMT is that it alters the receiver wavelength of the brain, and that it allows us to gain access to other realities, that these encounters are not unreal, that they're real, but they're real on a level that that we can't experience in a day-to-day state of consciousness. We have to be in an altered state of consciousness in order to experience them. And ultimately, the aim of this project is to map the DMT realm. You know, we talk a lot about extraterrestrials and ETs and making contact, and I'm sure the universe is filled with life, and it would be a very good thing to have the tech to make contact, or perhaps not a good thing, with all those other life forms in the universe. But right there in the DMT experience, inside our own heads, we have the opportunity to encounter another world, another realm, entities who are very different from ourselves and who have teachings to give us. And I think we should be spending a lot more research funds on exploring those experiences. And
absolutely. And DMT is something that your brain naturally produces as well. Although it's probably not too much, though. Perhaps it's enough. Maybe DMT is the reason we dream. And we obviously have some understanding of us dreaming, but we still don't have the full comprehension of why we dream. What do the dreams mean? Is it something that... because, like, you know, in the day you have so many thoughts, you experience so much, you see so much stuff. Maybe it's your thoughts put together and then your brain is just making that up and all that. Maybe it's just for memory. Maybe it's subconscious that is acting that way. Or maybe it's you going somewhere, right? Or maybe the brain has the ability to alternate between, meaning that sometimes when you dream, it's your subconscious. Sometimes it's for memory. Other times, whatever you have seen or witnessed or done throughout the day, it's just like, and it's your fears, your wins, your losses, your desires manifesting in your dreams. Perhaps it's that. And sometimes, you actually go somewhere else. You know, perhaps it's a combination of all. Perhaps it's, the brain is very complex. Perhaps sometimes it's one or the other. Whatever the answer is, I guess we don't know the answer, but whatever the answer is, yeah, man, it's crazy, right? And perhaps DMT is a big part of it, because
finding out what's going on, rather than zooming off to other planets. Let's do both, but let's make sure that we understand that the consciousness is an enormous mystery, and at the level of consciousness, DMT opens up literally a parallel world. And there's a nexus here with quantum physics, and with the notion of parallel realms and parallel realities. Maybe we can actually access them. Well, the work at Imperial College ultimately is going to come up with some answers on that.
I hope so. Mind blown.
What about the ideas that the universe is in a constant state of contraction and expansion?
No. Well, I mean, some people think
abandoned?
that. No, it's not been abandoned. Some physicists still argue that there's a cycle because it looks nice, and they are.
Okay.
But I think most people. I mean, there's some people who are arguing for that.
Do you think they're just trying to tie up something neat?
Well, I think they're trying to tie up their ignorance in something that isn't any more plausible than the picture that it expands forever. And as far as we can tell, the most likely possibility is that our universe will expand forever. But to make you a little bit happier, it's quite possible. The best pictures that we have of the early universe is that our universe isn't unique, isn't alone. That there are many universes. We call it a multiverse, and that at any instant in time, in kind of a cosmic super time, there's always a universe being born.
And speaking of DMT, the dream realm, like multiple universes, there's also this thing you probably heard of it. That's a theory, right? I'm not sure if it's proven or not, or somebody tried to prove it. I'm sure like somebody worked on it, but it's that when you dream, if you do something in your dream, it's basically you, but in a different universe. Oh, shit! And essentially the theory is that, multiverses, right? There are different universes. It's basically same Earth, but multiple Earth, but your version might be insanely rich in that Earth or in that universe, or insanely broke, or maybe different outcomes essentially. Okay, that's just like a basic analogy of it. Perhaps you're gonna be really successful in that universe, perhaps you're not gonna be successful at all, perhaps you're gonna have different outcomes essentially, right? And there are multiple universes. How many? I guess the number we don't know, man, but that's a theory though. It's interesting. I guess somebody tried to, and somebody definitely would have. There is no denying it, right? But we don't have proof for it, at least for now.
So that multiverse might be infinite and eternal.
Where are they?
Outside of our universe.
How's that even possible?
Of course it's possible.
I understand. I'm not questioning it.
Okay, here's one. Well, first of all, the simplest possibility is that they're outside the region we can see. right? For
Yeah, there's this thing called observable universe. If you don't know about it, look into it. It's gonna blow your mind, because what we can see is so big, but we only see allegedly like a very small version of it.
For example, the edges of our visible universe, space is expanding faster away from us than light. Because, you know, we taught you in school nothing can travel faster than light. You may remember that from school.
Right.
We lied. Okay. Well, no, you have to parse it more carefully like a lawyer. Nothing can travel through space faster than light, but space can do whatever the hell it wants. So locally, as I told you, the radio host is at rest. They're not
Black
moving,
holes,
and the
right,
other
as
end of the
well?
galaxy, at the other end of the visible universe, and we're at rest. But the space between us is expanding, so that galaxy, like a surfer, is being carried away from us faster than light. Relative to the water, the surfer isn't moving, right? But relative to the shore, the surfer is, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right,
So
right.
this galaxy is not moving relative to its local surroundings, but it's moving away from us faster than light. And like a surfer in an undertow, they can swim really fast in the water, but if the water's moving away from the shore, they'll never make back to the shore. Right? And so that galaxy,
Right.
the light from that galaxy is traveling through space at the speed of light. But if the space in between us and the galaxy is moving faster than light, then the poor light can never make it to us. We call that a horizon.
Wow.
Oh,
So
crap.
the space is traveling too far for the light to reach us. So
Too fast.
Too fast.
Space is
too fast.
So this light can't catch up with the expansion of space, and it never gets to us. And that galaxy disappears from our causal horizon, we call it. We'll never be able to see it. We'll never be able to interact with it. We'll never be, okay? And it could be that there are different regions so far away from us where space is expanding faster than light, which have a very different history than our own. So there could be, space could be infinite. Just our simple space that we know of and love could be infinite in extent, and different regions of that space.
And before folks comes in and says space is fake, you know, we also got folks, listen man, like jokes aside though, you know what I'm saying, surely there are a lot of people that believe the earth is flat, there are a lot of people believe that space isn't even real, you know, people got their beliefs, right? What I can appreciate is folks that believe in flat earth or space is fake. What I can appreciate is that people ask questions, you know, people are just asking questions, they just want to know. You know, I can appreciate that part though. I personally don't believe space is not, or I don't believe that the earth is flat. Like let me just put it that way. But the folks that do, I mean, I can appreciate the fact that you're asking questions about it, right? You know, there's that, but
Had different histories, and some of those regions, everything we can see, we know emerged from a single point. Okay, we can tell that. We can tell that by measuring the Big Bang expansion of everything we see and working backwards. And the universe, our visible universe, was once smaller and smaller and smaller. If we go back in time, we can actually follow the laws of physics back to the earliest moments of the Big Bang until those laws break down, and we can make predictions about what the universe should look like. All those predictions agree exactly with the observations we make, which tell us that that picture works. But another region, if you wish, could have come from a different Big Bang.
But is that another universe, or is
Well,
it a part of the universe that
No,
we
well,
can't see?
Here's how we've changed, and
Okay.
this is semantics, but non-trivial semantics. Namely, when I was a kid, universe meant everything.
Everything, right.
But we say that's a pretty stupid definition. A better definition is an operational one. Universe means that region of space with which at one time we could have communicated, or one time in the future, even if the future is infinite, we might communicate with. Because that describes the region of space where cause and effect works.
Some measurable distance.
Yes, and so we think of a universe as that region which could, throughout which everything could affect everything else, ultimately, in an infinitely long time. And in that picture, universes can be restricted in size. And then other
Right.
regions which could never have affected us, and which will never affect us in the future, we call other universes.
I see.
And now there are many different versions of a multiverse, but that's the simplest version. And this picture we call inflation, which I just did 2 little clips associated with the new book. One was
There
for
we go.
a publisher, and one was for Big Think. One is the universe in under 2 minutes. So you can look up online, look for Lawrence Krauss Explains the Universe in Under 2 Minutes, where I talk about this cosmic expansion and how it might mean there's a multiverse. But the other is I explain the universe in terms of this beer bottle that I talked about.
hopefully one day we can see what's on the other side, right? Do you think we're gonna one day be able to look what's on the other side? What I mean by the other side is, you know, the observable universe. I'll pull up a picture just for context here right now. But yeah, if one day we're able to, what is out there? Perhaps it's just gonna be copy-paste of more planets, more galaxies, more stars. Perhaps, right? Observable universe. And by the way, real quick before I blast that picture, pause, I need to shout out the homie Matt, and also shout out to Sassy Madeline for the $10 super thanks. Thank you guys so much for all the love and for your generosity for helping support the channel the way you do. Also shout out to Thomas, Ruben, Dad, don't want to say the full username here because it's gonna sound some different. Pause, Dennis, Evie, Annie, and all of you out there for being members on the channel. Thank you guys so much for all the love, for supporting the channel the way you do, okay? Let me actually blast that picture. Observable universe, the region of space that humans can actually or theoretically observe with the aid of technology, okay? So that's kind of like the, I mean, that's not the, I mean, let me actually pull that up, one sec.
About you earlier, so you can, that's a video, you can watch that. But this theory of inflation, which actually says our universe, the qualities that we see of our universe can best be explained at some early time in the history of the universe when it was a billionth of a billionth of a billionth of a billionth of a second old. It had a huge expansion suddenly, and it...
Yeah, that's the image essentially. You're looking at it right now. I know. Bruh. I know. I guess if I can find like a quick little 30-second video, that would be better.
Increased in size by 30 orders of magnitude in size in a billionth of 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 a second in the history of the universe. The qualities that we see of our universe can best be explained at some early time in the history of the universe when it was a billionth of a billionth of a billionth of a billionth of a second old. It had a huge expansion suddenly and increased in size by 30 orders of magnitude in size in a billionth of a billionth of a billionth of a billionth of a second, which is, by the way, particle physics suggests is highly plausible, even though, okay, and then it would produce a universe that looks more or less like we look like, and it's right now the only explanation of how.
Yeah, let me actually. This should be good. Check. Let's check this out. Hopefully the music is not copyrighted. If it is, we'll mute it. Okay. This may kill your ego. Yeah, check this out. So that's Earth, right? This is where you live. Man, it's fascinating, guys. That Earth, our home. Now, if you don't believe in space, then yeah, this would be like nothing for you. But if you do, yeah, this is gonna blow your mind, right? So that's the biggest star, bigger than the sun. Oof, the biggest black hole. Obviously, I personally have seen like a long-ass actual YouTube video on this thing, but this is like a very short version. Now, oh my god, just when you let that sink in, and this is the observable universe. What's outside of this observable universe, we don't know. Maybe it's gonna be copy and paste, right, of everything that's inside the observable universe. Observable universe meaning what we can see. What's outside that we don't see, we don't know. It's mind-blowing, man. It is mind-blowing.
Like we look like, and it's right now the only explanation of how that would cause the universe to look like what it looks like. But the neat thing about inflation is, it's eternal. So inflation, that puffing up ended in our universe, and then boom, a hot big bang followed it. Okay, so the universe puffed up by a huge amount, then all of that energy, which was stored in empty space, got released like in the beer bottle, and we got a hot big bang, and the rest is history. But that's locally. But somewhere else, between us and there, space is still expanding exponentially.
There's that.
And faster and faster and faster. And only maybe somewhere else today, boom, like an ice crystal forming, boom, that region of space is suddenly left inflation. And maybe a gazillion years in the future, there'll be another region of space that's expanding away from us so much faster than light, so we'll never know about it, where suddenly that region leaves inflation, and boom, another hot big bang happens. And it turns out in each of those hot big bangs, after the inflation ends, depending upon how it ends, the laws of physics could be different in that universe. And that's so we tend to think it's quite likely
maybe we'll never know
that there are many, many separate regions of space, and in fact it's eternal. So such regions are forming eternally for all time, and there are hot big bangs happening in many regions, and the properties of each of those regions, whether they're conducive to forming galaxies and stars and planets and people, may be different. So we could say logically in that picture that the reason the universe looks like the way it does is because we're here to measure it.
Oh my god, we should leave it at that.
Okay.
We should close with that. That is the mind blower of mind blow.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Joe Rogan on the moon landing is
my
what?
Really?
I got balls deep in that for years. I was completely.
So you think they did not go to the moon?
No, I don't think that anymore.
Okay.
But you know what I think now? I think I don't know.
Okay.
But I do think that it is one of the.
That is a good assessment, because for real though, we don't know. Right? For real, we don't know, man. There are only 3 possibilities. A, we went to the moon. Second option, we never went to the moon. And third, we did go to the moon, but the aliens were there that told us that to not come back. And that's why they try to fake the footage. Because there's a lot of evidence supporting the claims that the videos that they showed us were false. But we did go to the moon. But the videos they showed us were false. And that's why the theory is, yeah, we saw UFOs, we saw aliens there, and they told us to not come back. And they obviously couldn't show us that, so therefore they had to fake it. Because we did go to the moon, but they had to fake it. Yeah, these are like the theories. These are what we think we know, but the more you look into it, I guess the assessment is, I don't know. I guess that's fair. That's fair.
The more fascinating conspiracies that between 1969 and 1972, they had 7 attempts, 6 of them successful. Well, they went to the Apollo 13 was the one that they didn't apparently make it, and they had to come back. But that was the only time in history that a human being has been more than 400 miles above the Earth's surface. All the space station missions, all the space shuttle missions, all that stuff is
within orbit.
Yeah, it's low. It's all very low. They went 260,000 miles out and back into deep space, but they had never even flown a chicken out there and see if it comes back alive. Like, we really didn't.
Really?
Yeah, no.
I'm not into the space travel one, so.
I mean, they did a couple of flybys, like that went around the moon, you know, early before they landed on the moon.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, without unmanned drones like what we have on Mars and things like that, we've never really sent.
What's the name of that thing? I'm forgetting the name. It's like something belt. Because of radiation. That's one of the counter argument, which is a really good argument, by the way. People that believe that, you know, we never went to the moon. Yeah, they constantly bring that argument up, and it's a very good one. It's a solid argument. I'm forgetting the full name. Some of you probably gonna put it in the comments. So, but there is something called belt. There's a lot of radiation, and essentially the argument is that you cannot go through it, because if you go through it, you're gonna die, essentially, right?
A living thing out through the magnetosphere, through the Van Allen radiation belts, into deep space.
There we go. That's the one. Yeah, Van Allen. Okay, alien. You're not getting the right captions there, but Van Allen radiation belt.
Have it out through the magnetosphere, through the Van Allen radiation belts, into deep space. Have it, you know, I mean, there's all these possibilities of solar flares and anything that would have killed them instantly. And they just did that. And then we haven't been able to do that since 1972.
That's the one way. I've never looked into the moon landing. I think it's kind of goofy, right?
Well, it's weird. It's a weird one.
Why have we never gone back? It's been 50. Surely our technology is far superior to what it was in 1969, right?
The technology is far superior, except that they're not using that technology for manned space travel into, you know, deep space like that, and to go into the moon. So it's like our technology in all these other areas is superior, but they haven't really worked towards that because they haven't been funded. So the big issue is, in many ways, it's money, right? It's there's how much money is there in going to the moon, and it's also very risky to send humans out there. I mean, we're talking about manned missions to Mars now, which may or may not take place by 2030. They're talking about doing that, but it's way cheaper and safer to send robots out there. Like, why risk human lives? It's
they put robots on the moon, right? And they put robots on Mars. Yeah. The rovers.
The rovers on Mars are that's the most interesting, because they're sending these really high resolution photos of the surface of Mars, and they're running tests and checking for biological life. It's really, really interesting stuff. But between 69 and 72, when they did all this stuff, I mean, there's the technology back then was nothing compared to what they have now in terms of calculation.
Yeah, so this is what I was doing in the back end on ChatGPT that I'm blasting on screen. Yeah, so humans have not gone back to the moon since 1972. And yeah, we've had recent moon missions, but they have been unmanned. So there is that. Yeah, I remember the India Chandrayaan 3, that's what they launched, and it was successful, but it was unmanned. So we have that. And you know, you probably heard this, and I covered this a while back. They claim that the technology that they had back then, the technology they used to put the men on the moon, they apparently destroyed it. Oh shit! That's bunch of bollocks, mate. That's a bunch of bollocks. That's what they said, right? And if that is true, why did we destroy that tech? That is insane. And also, the claims that they made were that back then, the computers they use to put a man on moon, basically, your phone has a better chip than the CPU, the computers they used back then. That's insane. Okay, you probably heard these claims. If not, well, you heard it here then. You know, that's what they also claimed. And that they also claimed that they had the tech, they destroyed the tech. That is a big one. Why would you destroy it? I don't think they destroyed it, but okay, if you destroyed it, why would you destroy it?
And computers and it's
Who's
also
told you that?
There's unquestionably some stuff that whether it was images or video that was faked. And I think
Really?
yeah.
So I've never looked into this at all.
Gemini 15 is the big one because there's a photo of Michael Collins. It shows him in deep space, and they use it as a press release saying that he was on a spacewalk when it was really an image of him from a test run where there was all this stuff in the background and he was on this harness, and they just blacked out the background and tried to sell it as him being in space. See if you find that. Michael Collins, what do you...
I was looking at how much
Jamie
it
pulled
costs to
that up.
send somebody to space.
Oh, it's insane.
$70
Well, now
million
that there's these
70 million?
for a
Dang.
NASA astronaut to fly on a Russian shuttle.
well, there's
Called
all
Jeff
these private guys trying to
Yeah.
sell tickets to places. I mean,
Yeah.
Bezos is trying to do it. Musk, obviously.
But that's
I think
space. That's just low Earth orbit. That's still inside 400 miles.
none of them are trying to go anywhere.
No, well, they might in the future.
Well, Branson.
Well, I think that's all same thing. It's all low
Okay.
Earth orbit. But they are talking about future visits to the moon and to Mars. But a lot of times I feel like when they say that, you know, George
unmanned.
Bush Sr. said that they were going to go to the moon, back to the moon again. In like fucking, when was that? 1990 or whatever the hell that was? People have always said we're going to go
Yeah.
back to the moon, but we haven't been back since 1972. Does that mean that we never went? No.
That is crazy, man. That is crazy. At least that's what they say publicly, right?
But then it gets weird when you find out that Werner von Braun was a fucking Nazi.
Who?
Werner von Braun, the guy he was the head of NASA. He was the guy who organized the moon landings, and he was the head rocket guy. That guy was a legit Nazi. Like, he was wanted by the Simon Wiesenthal Center said that if he was alive today, they would prosecute him for crimes against humanity. They would hang the 5 slowest workers every day in front of his Berlin rocket factory. Oh yeah. No, 100%.
Jesus.
I mean, that's what they did. What they did was they took this thing, it was called Operation Paperclip, where
Man, I couldn't even say whoa properly. Even my whoa started to whoa like that, bro. What the hell?
when we won World War II, they took all the top Nazi scientists and they secretly brought them over to America. And they did it on the down low so that no one would think like, hey, why do we have a guy named Werner von Braun running the American space program? Well, it's because the Nazi scientists were insanely advanced. So the question is like, well, were they really Nazis, or were they scientists that were under the boot of the Nazi administration? I mean, well, I don't know. I mean, I'm not around then.
Yeah.
But I do know that these are the people that were the head engineers and the people that designed it. Werner von Braun himself was saying how impossible it was, just years before they did the moon landing and years before Operation Paperclip, that it was impossible to go to the moon, or how ridiculously impossible it would be. But technology advanced from then to when 1969 happened to when they did it. I stopped saying that we never went to the moon because I really don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And that's a big part of understanding these conspiracies is
Yeah, it's crazy, right? It really is crazy. Yeah, I mean, to say that we did go to the moon back in the 69 and 72, but we never went back? Why? I guess, yeah, they say that we've had recent missions, and but we never went, as in, like, a human never stepped foot again on moon. You got the Van Allen radiation belt. Obviously, that argument is also pretty crazy. You know, the theory, the conspiracy theory, which is one of the most fascinating one, and I love this one, is that, yeah, when we did go to the moon, the aliens were there, and they told us to never come back. But we did go back. I guess unmanned. Huh. So maybe they're cool with that. Maybe there's a specific area. Maybe it's the moon's ass. You're not allowed to be at. Pause real quick. Moon's ass, essentially. The back side of the moon, the dark side, the far side of the moon. You know, people call it the back side, dark side, far side. Right? I call it the moon's ass. easy. Yeah, the side that you never see. Essentially, that is considered to be the aliens' airport. That's where they land. They've got their UFOs there, right? Towers there. You're not allowed to be there. They told us to not go there, never come back. Then you had them saying, employees actually, people that put a man on the moon, they claimed the tech that they used back then was really, really good, really advanced, but they no longer have it because they destroyed it. I mean, holy shit. You know, like, what are we doing? What are we talking about? Was it all fake? Was it all a lie? Or did we actually go to the moon? But we actually destroyed... Okay, we did go to the moon, and we don't have that tech anymore. We actually destroyed it. Why did we destroy it? Who told us to destroy it? Why would you destroy it? Yeah, I mean, there's so many questions, right? And obviously there's a ton of video of that thing that people have tried to disprove it for years and years. And there are so many holes, as in the videos that we have seen of the moon landing. Yeah, if you look into it, you're gonna find a lot of wrong in it, meaning that people that believe that we never went to the moon, they have a leg up in that, because the videos that were showed to us, there are a lot of holes in it, and there's a ton of evidence supporting the claims of, yeah, the video that they showed at the very least has been faked, you know? And then you obviously got the conspiracy, yeah, we did go to the moon, but the aliens told us to never come back, and that's why they never showed us the real video, because in the real video, you've had the UFOs, the astronauts captured the UFOs, so there's that too. It's a big hole, man. It's a big conspiracy rabbit hole.
It's hard.
You have to really know, how much do I know about rocketry? How much do I know about aerospace? Zero.
Yeah.
So if I'm running around saying I don't believe people went to the moon, what is it based on? It's based mostly on ignorance, speculation, and the excited feeling that comes with trying to uncover a conspiracy.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
but
I'll be honest. My favorite conspiracy theory, I mean, is the one that, yeah, we did go to the moon, but the videos are fake because the aliens were there, they told us. I mean, that's like one of the conspiracy theory that I wanted to be true, but let's be objective here. We don't know, bro. Yeah, we just don't know, you know what I'm saying? But I hope this is real, okay? I hope this is real, because it's fascinating, man. Holy shit. But is it real? We don't know.
I think you do have to be a little bit discerning on what you hear, but it is frustrating, and that's where a lot of these conspiracy guys, they think they know more than they do, because you have to come to the realization that you're probably never going to know the real answer with a lot of these things. Yes. Very likely. I mean, some of them come out many...
And even if even if one day we get the God-honest truth, yeah, like, people got their beliefs. Either you believe we did go to the moon or we did not. And the amount of distrust that we have in the government, it's just not happening. Not happening, man. It's not happening. If they tell us, yeah, we did go to the moon, man, we did go to the moon, people are not gonna believe that. If they say we didn't go to the moon, then it's like, a lot of people would be like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, there will be a whole lot of that then. And if they say we did go to the moon, but the videos were fake, because, yeah, the aliens are there, the other... Some would believe it, some would not. And that would be an insane claim. But if they come out again and again and say we did go to the moon, yeah, people that believe that we never go to the moon, you're not changing their beliefs at all. And understandably.
Many years later, we're talking about like Gulf of Tonkin, right?
Yeah.
Or Operation Northwoods, many years later it comes out. But, you know, there's a good likelihood that I'll never know the truth on stuff I read a lot about.
I think with the moon landing, it's way more likely that we went to the moon, but that some of the footage is fake. And I think they probably did that because it's incredibly difficult to film things on the moon. And I think they filmed some stuff in test runs and then tried to pass that stuff off.
Brought their iPhone.
They didn't have it back then. They had these cameras that they had in the center of their chest. I think
What if they would have been taking a selfie on the moon?
Yeah, the kidding.
Snapchatting it.
You'd have to take your suit off and then you would die. They didn't have a camera that you could put in front of you.
Maybe they have one of the clicker buttons they could have with their big gloves on, and they put the thing out and then they click it, and then boom, Snapchat, Wi-Fi on the moon.
Well, that's what they said. Well, it was that they did it remotely. That's how they captured the video of the lunar module leaving the surface of the moon and panned up and watched it go. That they did all that remotely. It's all There's some squirrely footage. You ever see the video of them jumping around? It looks like they're on trampolines.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Like they're just bouncing straight up in the air. You're like, well, what the fuck is that? How come the physics are different in different flights? Like in some of the flights, like Apollo 11, they're barely getting off the ground.
Is it one where they're walking, but they're kind of going like that?
Well, there's ones like that, and then there's also ones where they fall down. It looks like they're getting yanked up by wires.
Pause.
I think it's entirely possible that some of that stuff was faked. But I think it's way more likely that they actually went to the moon than they didn't. But it's way sexier to think that they faked the whole thing. It's fun. It's fun to think they faked the whole thing. That everybody was quiet about it. And, Neil Armstrong gave this real cryptic speech on the 25th anniversary of the moon mission saying that, there are hidden truths what is the exact quote that he said?
I remember the moon of something, moon of Jupiter. Something like that was mentioned too. Am I crazy? Or is this like Mandela effect I'm getting hit with right now? Have you ever heard something like the moon of Jupiter? I believe one of the guys said, I believe Buzz Aldrin said that.
Some of the great truths that could be revealed, removing some of truth's hidden layers. Like
what if he was giving it away?
It was real cryptic. It was like, what do you... let's see if you can find it.
I got the video.
Yeah, Jamie pulled that up.
Play the video.
He might have been giving it away.
Well, it seemed if you were a conspiracy theory, this would give you a rock hard boner. listen to this.
Neil Armstrong made a rare public appearance. Next generation of taxpayers.
We have no. Just play the whole thing so you don't confuse everybody.
In 1994, Neil Armstrong made a rare public appearance and held back tears as he spoke these brief cryptic remarks before the next generation of taxpayers as they toured the White House.
Today we have
Next generation of taxpayers. Yeah, we're cooked. Let me put it here.
with us a group of students among America's best. To you, we say we have only completed a beginning. We leave you much that is undone. There are great ideas undiscovered, breakthroughs available to those who can remove one of truth's protective layers.
What the fuck does that mean? I mean, what? You're supposed to say, "Yo, I went to the moon, bitch." You're not supposed to say breakthroughs. That
maybe he's giving it away.
Truth protective layers. Like, I don't even understand what that means. The press conference is one of the more fascinating things. If you watch the press conference, again, I was balls deep in this stuff for years. The press conference from 1969 when they returned from the moon.
I mean, I'm also like balls deep, but only halfway in, you know what I'm saying? Pause. Shout out to 8 Thoughts if you know. That's for my gamer bros out there, but yeah.
Is one of the most cryptic, weird things you'll ever see. These guys look like they just stole something and they're being questioned. I've never seen a video where people look like they're more full of shit than that video of the press conference from 1969. It's weird, man. It's weird. They're like fidgety and looking nervous, like they're getting away with something.
So they didn't do it then?
Yeah, they weren't even excited at all, right? When they came back, it was as though they were coming from a funeral. Yeah, like everybody that you speak with, it's like, yeah, no, they're hiding something. They're hiding something. They saw something there. They saw them aliens, right? They saw something on the moon, or they faked it all. They never went to the moon. There was zero excitement.
Might have done it. They might have been forced to say some things that they didn't want to say, and that could be part of it.
Absolutely.
You know, they could have done it, but there's a lot of weirdness with the moon landing. It's if you wanted to have like a conspiracy to wrap your head around that's exciting, it's one of the best ones.
Really, but who benefits from it?
The United States government did, because it showed military superiority over the Russians, so we were able to do that. Sure. It also, it was the Nixon administration. People were just flat out full of shit.
Well, yeah.
I mean, they were just lying to people left and right back then.
That's government, though.
Yeah, but even more so then, because it was unchecked. There was no media.
Social media.
Yeah, there's nothing that would expose them for this. And this stuff, they would air it on TV once in 1969. You would never see it again unless you watched it on film. There's no YouTube where you can go back and watch the astronauts on trampolines video. That's my favorite one. You watch that and you go, what in the fuck is happening there? These guys are bouncing up in the air. Like, how are they doing that? Like, they never did.
Damn it, man. Why don't we get that stuff now, bro? Yeah, if we ever had a moon landing now, or a man moon landing where a man goes, it's probably gonna be live stream. It's gonna be on the TV, and people are gonna record it. You know, you're gonna have VODs. People are gonna keep track of it. People are gonna be spying on it. You know, GPS track data people would be streaming the actual GPS data, right? The coordinates and everything like that. It would be documented, big time, right? And we would surely have the debunkers. There would be false whistleblowers too. There may be legit ones. You're gonna have basically everyone on it, right? You're gonna have everyone on it. You're gonna have so many different opinions. Some would be like, hey, it's the end of the world. Some would be saying that, you know, lock yourselves in the basement. The Martians are here. You're gonna have pretty much everyone on it. But we're not getting that anymore, right? Because the cat is out of the bag. Everybody has access to YouTube. Everybody got access to the internet. Yeah, it's not happening.
If you watch Apollo 11 when they were moving around on the surface of the moon, it's just like they're moving in slow motion. And then you go to whatever it was, like Apollo 14 or 15 when they were doing the trampoline thing. They're fucking flying through the air. Have you seen it?
I've never gotten to the moon thing. The flat
Jamie,
thing
pull
is
that up.
ridiculous.
Watch this.
Jamie pulled that up.
And like their feet are hidden. Look at this. Watch these guys bounce up in the air. It's like they're on some sort of wire, like they're being yanked up into the air.
Yeah, pull that up, Jamie.
Like, what the fuck are they doing? And they're playing, like falling down, and it's very weird. But it could have been.
Can a brother, instead of B-roll, can a brother perhaps like get that? Man, just zoom out so we can see it. I know because, yeah, Jamie always puts like a small ass rectangular box on screen on the podcast. Never goes full screen. Sometimes he does, but you know, like.
That they were really on the moon, and these guys were fucking cowboys and yahoos, and they wanted to bounce around.
Oh, you were posting those videos.
Yeah, I posted those videos back in the day. Yeah, I had a debate on Penn Jillette's radio show with a guy who's an astronomer, and he wasn't willing to admit a lot of stuff that was a fact, like the fact that Werner von Braun was a Nazi.
Well, why does the flag look so still there?
Well, the flag had a wire, first of all, on the top of it that stiffened it up to make it. But there's videos of the flag moving in a non-existent breeze, which is weird too. And they try to make some logical explanations for why the flag could be moving in a vacuum, and some of it makes sense, but some of it doesn't. Like the wires one is weird. If you watch them fall down, like go to that one right there, Jamie.
Yeah, pull that up, Jamie.
Like if you watch, like sometimes they're falling down, and when they're falling down, it looks like they get yanked back up. But I think it might not have been real footage. What they might have done is use some test footage, like right there, Jamie, right there, let it go. Like homeboy falls down, and then it looks like he gets yanked back up. Look at this. Whoops.
Oh, he did not. That's not him standing up.
Yeah, what is this?
That's not him standing up. You can't stand up
Can a brother see you too, man?
like that.
Right, but you're on the moon. Okay, so you realize you're in 1/6 Earth gravity.
But there was nothing to make him go like this.
Exactly.
Right? You can't get up without.
Exactly.
Now we go back to MMA because that's what these freaking folk style wrestling is, the next generation of MMA. Because you have to turn to your base to get up. You can't look at. There's nothing on the ground. How's he going to get the momentum?
He's getting yanked up. Like he would have super abs. He would have to be like a break dancer.
Okay, I'm gonna try and find that video because obviously in this video we're not able to see it. Right? Let me see.
Okay, maybe a breakdancer. Maybe a breakdancer. But you can't get up without putting a base down, right?
Yeah,
that was really weird. I never saw
weird.
It.
Watch it again. Watch him get yanked up.
Okay, yeah, let's see if that's the one, alright? So it's 30 seconds. I suppose, maybe. But let's actually, load it up. And yeah, YouTube got that weird tag as well. Wikipedia, the Apollo program, also known as...
Apollo sent 12 Americans to rove the surface of the moon, and 15 others to fly into the grasp of its 1/6 gravity.
Hippity hopping over hill.
That's legit.
Apollo sent 12 Americans to rove the surface of the moon.
Yeah, 1969. 1969 humor. Okay, so let's check this one out for a second. That's a short. Yeah, hippity hoppity. Is he using like a... There it goes. NASA Johnson. Pause. But NASA Johnson moon. Okay, so I believe that's the one. Yeah, we got a 16-second one here.
A little bit closer. Okay, here we go. A big one. Off the ground.
I think this is the one he was talking about then. Right.
Yeah, he's got no base.
Yeah.
It almost seems like that little piece is played in reverse.
Well,
Yeah,
it almost does. Yeah, it almost does.
Yeah, that he couldn't stand up like that.
But the thing falls down right afterwards, so it wasn't in reverse.
I know.
I think it's entirely possible that some of the footage was bullshit. But it doesn't mean that they didn't go to the moon.
Yeah.
It means that overzealous people in
and he only
the
had one
press.
foot on the ground there too.
Right. Yeah. Oh, that's true. Look at this. Watch.
So he stood up like.
Look at that. It's ridiculous.
He can't do it.
What? His right foot's down. His left foot's up. And he just goes straight up in the air. It is crazy.
That's fake.
But I've never been in 1/6 Earth gravity in either of you.
No,
so maybe it's
Joe,
easier
it's
to
fake,
do.
dude. You can't stand up like that.
I think that's
You-
fake.
that
Ben
video
Askren says we never went to the moon.
I
It's
said
on the
that
Bleacher Report.
video is fake.
No, the video is real. That's from television.
Okay.
I just realized that's Ben Askren. What the hell? The only this is gonna sound sad. Thank you for subscribing. Welcome on in. It's gonna sound sad because it really is. No disrespect, first of all. The only reason I know about Ben Askren is because, was it Jake Paul? Yeah, Jake Paul. Ben Askren versus Jake Paul, a match happened, and of course he lost, right? Was it rigged? Was it not? I don't want to get into that debate because this video is not about it, but I'm shocked, right? Like, it just... And the only reason I know Ben Askren is because of that fight, which is sad, right? Because he probably won a lot of fights beforehand too, I suppose. And that's sad. That, no disrespect though, but yeah, I'm mind blown that he's on the podcast. And that's
video,
Ben Askren.
that guy standing up like that, he got help somehow.
Yeah, well,
you can't stand up like that.
Very well, he could have been on wires. It could have been that they were using that to simulate what it would be like, because they definitely filmed a lot of simulations. They did a lot of that because they wanted to prepare the astronauts. It's entirely possible that some of those simulations got passed off as being an actual video of them on the moon.
Sure.
Yeah,
fair enough.
Or they faked the whole fucking thing. I wasn't there.
Yep. Uh-oh, the genius magpie.
There's a magpie bird.
Oh, yeah.
No way. Here we go, fellas. Here we go. Yeah, man. Stop rolling those fat doobies. This is going to be funny, though. Or maybe not. Maybe it's going to be actually good. Maybe it's actually going to be good.
There's a bottle of water in some playground area, park area, and it goes up to the bottle of water and it dips its beak in to drink from it. Okay, here it is. See it? Yeah. Okay, it goes in and drinks from it to watch. It's going to drink. But the problem is there's a limit to how far its beak can reach inside of it. So, and so it gets a stone that fits inside the bottle, which raises the water level so that its beak can continue to drink from it.
Yeah.
500.
This is some
500 IQ. No, actually, he's Neil deGrasse Tyson is bringing it in. Okay, this already is very, very intriguing.
Archimedean crazy stuff going on.
It really is.
The magpie, by those in the know, is ranked among the smartest of birds. And this is doing something I think humans wouldn't even think to do.
Probably many humans.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so do you remember, how did they teach you where humans were in the tree of life when you were in school? Like we were the smartest or the biggest brained? Well, how did they describe it to you?
Yeah, we're the top of the food chain.
Okay. And what did they say about our brains? Just tell me in your...
Well, it's the size of our brains that makes us so superior.
Okay,
but then you look at a magpie.
Yeah, but dolphins' brains are bigger. So.
Yeah, 40% larger.
Okay, so then...
I have not watched this episode, but when he brought up the fact that, the size of a human brain, that just instantly clicked because I heard about the dolphin's brain being bigger, right? And dolphins are insanely smart. Not sure if they're smarter than humans. I suppose they are smarter than a lot of people in general. Talking in general here.
So then, therefore, what is
a magpie?
Yeah, but dolphins' brains are bigger. So
40% larger.
Okay, so then, therefore, what is, whale brains are bigger. So So then, how do they? If there are other animals with bigger brains, and we want to stay at the top, what do they say about those other animals?
I don't know. What do they say?
No, I'm saying. Okay, so you know what they did?
They say they're inferior.
So no. So what they did was they say, oh no, we don't have the biggest brain. Oh, but brain to body weight ratio, then we're the highest. Okay.
Is that accurate with dolphins?
Yes. So because they're bigger, much bigger creatures than we are. And when you divide the weight of the brain by the weight of the body, we win.
Right.
We beat out whales, we beat out dolphins, we beat out elephants. Then there are those who are fans of those say, well, you want to do it lean weight because the dolphins and the whales have a lot of blubber, and that's not, the brain is not having to control the blubber. So cut away the blubber, that boosts them, but they're still not as high as us. So we walk away saying, we're at the top. However, what they did not say, which I had to, 40 years later, I learned this, that we do not have the highest brain to body weight ratio among animals, only among mammals. The magpie has a higher brain to body weight ratio than humans do, as do all other mid-sized birds like crows, owls, eagles, these folks, okay? All have a higher brain to body weight ratio than humans do. So that rule that put us at the top was specifically for mammals. And I'm angry that I didn't think to hear how specific that was when I was taught that in 8th grade. Okay.
Well, isn't our understanding of like crows using tools very recent, like within the last 100 years?
All I can tell you is any animal that we have ever got to study in more detail than we previously did has shown to be more intelligent than we ever gave it credit for being.
Yeah.
And you know who has the biggest brain to body weight ratio of any creature on Earth?
Who?
Some species of ants.
Really?
15% of their body weight is their brain. And it's kind of obvious. Some of them, like the whole front section is their head.
Right.
It's kind of, in retrospect, it's kind of obvious.
Dang, that does make sense. Yeah, like if you picture an ant in your mind, I see what he's saying here. Damn, that's crazy though. And ants are insanely smart, and they are teamwork oriented. They're team workers, man. They know how to work together. Maybe we can learn a thing or two from them, honestly.
And ants are very busy doing some complicated things, and we don't know what they're doing.
Especially leaf-cutter ants.
They're busy, carpenter ants, leaf-cutting ants, and cross.
Yeah, they're always busy. You know, they're not relaxing. They're always busy working.
Over into termite land. I don't know how big their brains are, but they're busy building stuff.
And they work in communication with each other.
And they
somehow.
communicate.
Yeah.
But did you see this video though? If not, check out this video on the screen, because the stuff that is coming out about Project Bluebeam, it's pretty wild. Check it out and I'll see you right there.